Yeah, well, the conversation is shifting from AI, from models and tools to autonomy and outcomes, moving beyond the applications, not just to inform and intelligently predict, but to perform. I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE. We are here with Google Cloud's Agent in Action series, where we talk to the leaders who are making it happen. I'm here with Menlo Security's Chief Product Officer, Ramin Farassat. Welcome to the program.
John, great to be here. Thank you.
The Agents in Action series really has been about executing. We're seeing a lot of action going on in the marketplace. The strategy is clear, agents are performing, the execution's the challenge. The next billion users, they say, will be agents. This is going to be a big deal for AI infrastructure and the AI native applications and how to secure them. What is your thoughts?
Yeah, no, great point and great question. Look, in the last decade, all of us in the tech industry, we were obsessed with shifting the applications to the cloud and then getting the humans online, right? Now we believe the next billion users that are going to be using those applications that we got in the cloud are not going to be people at all. They're going to be autonomous agents. The problem is that that's a fundamental shift. Right now, companies are still building and they're securing their environment for human employees, but then now they need to desperately re-architect their environment because there's going to be this big army of AI agents that are going to be coming up, right? Now, of course, we all want this like massive speed and the scale that these agents are bringing to the table, but the reality is that these agents, unfortunately, they lack human intuition. If a hacker, for example, throws a zero-day exploit, or if they want to do prompt injection to an AI agent, it doesn't have that gut feeling that we as humans have to know that it's being tricked. So what happens is that it would just basically execute what it's being told. So we have to bridge this gap that exists today between this incredible speed that we have with the AI agents and the potential total vulnerability that they have. And that's exactly what we're building at Menlo. We're building the kind of platform that secures both humans as well as AI agents. So we're using AI to fight AI.
That's a great point, Ramin. This is the human in the loop is very key, and the scale of operations is critical. You're starting to see people talk about the human in the loop. It's not AI plus human, it's human plus AI. That is changing the game on how the software is being worked. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, good question. And that's precisely why we decided to architect our environment based on Google Gemini and the Google's environment. You see, we knew that with AI, specifically with AI agents, you have to, as I mentioned, you have to fight AI using AI. And threat actors are spinning malicious websites content at a scale that is just unheard of. It's something that we had not seen in the past. So we need a solution that truly operates at this machine speed. So we deeply integrated our heat shield technology with Google Cloud's Vertex AI and Gemini models. The only way that we could build this architecture such that it can be resilient and be able to scale was that we couldn't just react to known threats. We had to actually analyze the intent behind the website content in real time. So that lets us be able to instantly block things like zero-day exploits, social engineering attacks, and things that no one has seen before. This is something that no other vendors can claim right now. And to bring all of this together, not only we built this such that it can really rely on the intent behind the content, but also we built this with a heat shield agent that gives the administrators the power to be able to proactively manage it, set policies, and also let other AI agents actually talk directly to our agent.
You guys have a really good security solution. Talk about what you guys are developing, what you have, what's popular, what's developing, and how you guys integrate with Google Cloud.
As we move into this new fast-paced agentic era, the way that we deploy security has to evolve. It has to be instant, and it cannot require long integration projects. That's exactly why we put our Heat Shield agent on Google AI Agent Marketplace. It completely removes the friction. Instead of making companies go out of their way to find us, we're meeting them right where they already are building their AI. Now adding enterprise-grade web protection is much easier, and it's not an afterthought. And it's also right alongside the rest of their AI toolkit.
Ramin, talk about the use cases that are unlocked with Google Cloud and Menlo Security. As you see, the cloud come together, you start to see distributed computing. Agents are coming everywhere. They're everywhere. How do the use cases evolve? What are some specific examples?
Yeah, let me give some examples of that because I'm quite excited about this. So imagine not having to log into an admin dashboard to orchestrate the security policies. Using this AI technology, the security admin can now just interact directly with the Menlo agent and ask it things like, show me the current block list, or they can go and actually change a policy. They say, switch this threat response from logging to blocking, right? And AI just handles it for you. But it actually goes farther than that. And let me give you some examples of that. Because we built this thing with agent-to-agent protocol, a customer's own security AI can also interface to us. So for example, if they're using a SOC agent, they can talk directly to a Menlo agent. If the SOC agent, for example, flags a suspicious URL, it can instantly ping our agent and say something like, block this domain. And then our agent updates its policy in real time. So it's machine-to-machine defense, and it's in real time, and it's completely automated without a human ever having to click a button. And then on top of all of that automation and of the defense, the agent's still continuously running in the background. And it can provide additional information to the human team. For example, they can get a summary report, they can generate real-time alerts, and they can do all of this stuff on demand and do on-demand analysis and see the suspicious information.
You guys have the browser security feature, which everyone loves. Talk about how that relates in the modern era as you have all this legacy systems out there. You have APIs everywhere. Now you bring in Google Cloud in together with you guys on the integration. What does that mean for users, and what does that unlock for value?
Yeah, Menlo has been in the business of providing a secure platform for users to be able to access the internet through the browser. And that continues to be the case, and that continues to evolve. This heat shield technology that we have now brought in as part into Google Marketplace allows us to be able to not only continue to support this secure browsing for our users, but also make it a lot easier for them to build on top of the environment using A2A protocol and interface their other tools into our architecture.
Talk about the reach of the solution with the go-to-market with Google Cloud Marketplace, Agent Marketplace. You're starting to see a lot more consumption of agents. They're being deployed. How does that change your business with Google Agent Marketplace?
Yeah, that's a great point. So this comes back into the fact that being able to have our solution on the marketplace, we basically removed all the friction from the buying experience. We've removed a lot of the headaches that the administrators and the security admins had in deploying the solution. And of course, for us being able to take advantage of the customers already committed spend with Google, also accelerates the whole process by them being able to literally draw from the existing funds that they have to be able to launch this new platform.
Talk about the speed aspect of deployment with agents. We're seeing a lot of agents being deployed, and once they get the governance, once they do the privacy work, once all that's in place, they're just flying out there. People are deploying them, their fleets of agents. How does that speed game and consumption work together?
The marketplace makes it a lot easier for customers to, first of all, find Menlo and find Menlo's technology and be able to adopt the technology much faster than they could do before. And then they could also leverage the partnership that Menlo has with Google. This partnership that we have had with Google, and we won the 2025 Google Cloud Security Partner of the Year award. It has really increased our visibility, but it also has helped us because it brings that trust for customers to know that we're a strong partner with Google.
Talk about the sales impact. Obviously, the marketplace. I'm a big fan of marketplaces. You're seeing a lot more dollars come through. How's that changed on the sales side for you guys?
Yeah, the marketplace has really helped us. It has helped us be able to both have that closer relationship with our customers as well as remove some of the frictions that were there before in terms of going through a sales cycle. The customers have a much easier way being able to both find our technology and solution as well as be able to leverage the funds that they have already with Google to be able to sign up for those services.
Ramin, you're the chief product officer. You got the keys to the kingdom at Menlo Security. You got the Google Cloud integration relationship and the go-to-market with the marketplace. Talk about some of the trends around shadow AI, because I think this is also opens up a lot of use cases in a good way, but also you got to secure them. Talk about how that plays in, because the adoption, we're seeing the adoption, but then how do you lock that down? How do you manage that from a security standpoint? What's your view on the shadow AI side of the business right now?
It's interesting that you bring that up, John, because it's also a question that I get when I talk to any of our customers, especially when I sit together with CISOs. It's one of the pain points that they always bring up. What do I do about them? How do I discover them? But also, more importantly, not once that I discover them, what do I do about them? How do I control them? And how do I potentially stop them if I need to? And that's exactly what we have brought into the picture. Traditionally, the way that organizations have been dealing with shadow AI was to use lists. The problem is these days, with the fast moving world of AI, every site has AI. Every site that you go to has AI. Every site is shadow AI, and every application is potentially a shadow AI. So the list almost become obsolete the second they come out. So using a list is really not the way, in our opinion, to be able to discover and deal with shadow AI. Instead, you have to get a lot smarter, and you have to become a lot more intelligent. So we're using a lot of the information that we already have as part of our architecture to be able to look at heuristics, to look at data, detect if a site could actually have AI inside it. And once we do those detections, provide different levels of controls. And those controls could be as simple as stopping the access to that site while we're automatically updating our policies, but it could be smarter than that. For example, we could potentially disable that AI functionality inside that site. And then on top of that, what we want to do is also we want to educate the customer, the users. We want to let them know why is it that potentially they wouldn't be able to access a specific site, and train them on what the alternatives are, what are other means to be able to get their job done and get to the sites that they want to get to.
You know, I mean, this comes up a lot in the CUBE conversations around static rules, moving packets from point A to point B. We're in a generative process now, so it's a much more dynamic environment. There's a lot of agents out there. It's hard to manage with old rules and humans, so the agents are going to have to be managed. How are you guys looking at that? How do you manage what to do, manage the agents, and also what does Google Cloud bring to the table on their end? Can you share the intersection of how you rein in or keep track of these agents?
Sure. So one of the things that, at least for me, I personally believe is that while a lot of other companies are trying to go and build this perimeter and put in restrictions around the use of agents, what that could do is that one, it may not be able to really control all the agents because there are so many agents that you may not be able to access them all. But also, it may not be the best way to be able to scale at the speed of the agents. Instead, what we believe needs to be done is to start from the beginning. As the agents are being built, set up specific policies within the agents, make sure that you have control rights. But then as the agents perform the tasks that they're performing and going through our platform, we're still making sure that we're providing the means for being able to look for things like prompt poisoning, be able to address different types of rights and access controls, and set different policies that manages those agents at the scale of the agents themselves.
I love that governance piece. You get it right, and a lot of good things happen. You mentioned earlier some of the malicious things that are going on. Could you share what kind of new malicious behavior that agents bring into the evaluation? Obviously, people say, "Hey, agents, if they could do things too, just like humans, they can do bad things." What are some of the agentic malicious things that you're seeing? A new class of attacks.
Yeah, the top of mind and the one that always comes up first is prompt poisoning, of course, and the things that potentially, as a human, we don't see, but the agents see and they actually act on. And one of the simple examples that's really easy to grasp and everybody really gets it quickly is as text that is in the same color as the background. Humans don't see it, they don't act on that, but the agent actually sees it and starts acting on it. And that's a very simple form of prompt poisoning. Of course, there are many, many more sophisticated ways to be able to fool an agent into doing what it should not be doing. Other than that, the other thing that happens is we've seen agents impersonate humans and using the access that they have potentially leak sensitive data that should not be getting outside the company. And we're seeing that more and more come up. So one of the technologies that we apply for specifically those type of issues is that we can go in, we can discover sensitive information, and in real time remove that sensitive information or mask it. So even if that data, the overall data leaks out, the sensitive information will not be in there.
Well, I mean, great to have you on. And one final question for you is that as you see the ecosystem in this agentic world, as physical and digital come together, you got tech stacks merging, combining, aligning. How is Menlo's relationship with Google? How would you describe the Google relationship? Because they have the tech stack, they got the marketplace. What's the relationship between the two?
We have been a partner for a number of years. And in fact, as I mentioned before, we were the winner of 2025 Google Cloud Security Partner of the Year. And we continue to leverage Google tools. In fact, something I should mention is that our engineering team uses Google Gemini to do a lot of our code development. And that's something that we truly rely on because it really helps us be able to do better and also be more optimized.
Integration, distribution, getting sales up there with the marketplace, kind of a good formula. Congratulations. And thanks for spending the time here on Agents in Action featured series.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it. You have a great day.
I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE. Thanks for watching.